And earlier, Dave, you quickly touched on differences when it comes to fasting between men and women. Is there any further depth you want to go into on that and special considerations when it, because I know you talk about in the book how a lot of the research is actually done on men. So, with your experience, what have you found can help women along the way?
Well, only about 25 to 35% of studies of fasting even account for women. And the reason for this is that throughout most of medical research, the cheapest human guinea pigs are college freshmen, and college freshmen were predominantly white dudes. Now it's shifted. There's actually more women in college than men. But because we'd experiment on them, you pay them $10 and they'll do anything you want. So they would run these crazy things on men. And the research on women definitely shows that they are less resilient to fasting than men, but that it's profoundly good for them. And this goes, in fact, there's a whole chapter in the book focusing just on the research for women and the hormone changes. And one of the biggest things for women is when you're right in the middle of your cycle, you're menstruating, you already have a biological stressor right now. Your body is working on rebuilding tissues. You are unlikely to get the results from fasting on those days. Then being kind to yourself, having protein, having fat, having some carbohydrates later in the day, which is going to give you the energy and the building blocks your body needs to rebuild the lining of your uterus. And if instead you're saying, oh, I'm just going to fast, well, why does it not work now, but it worked other times? It's because women have times of the month when they're highly focused and high performance, and they have times of the month where they're less performant. And Olympic athletes I've interviewed on the show talk about this. They're saying, oh, I know that if I have a competition during my cycle, I'm less likely to win because my body's busy on doing other stuff. Right. So the same goes for fasting. So fasting during menstruation is usually not a good idea, even the day after. Or if you're going to do it, a shorter intermittent fast, or ideally doing it with bulletproof coffee. So at least you've got the ketones in the body, you've got some building blocks, you've taken a load off, but you're still allowing the protein digestion and repair systems to work. So that's the biggest thing for women. And also just don't overfast. Guys can fast more than women and get away with it and actually benefit from it. And so for women, especially if you have weight to lose, start out 3 or 4 days a week doing intermittent fasting and start out with the fasting hacks. And over time, as your body becomes stronger and leaner and your mitochondria become better at burning fat, you might say, oh, I'm going to do it 5 days a week. But it's okay to have breakfast like you do on weekends. Breakfast does not mean the Denny's Grand Slam with all the bad fats and all that. And way back in the day when I was fat, I'd be super clean during the week, but I knew we had to have a cheat meal every day. And Tim Ferriss, who I respect a lot, has been on my show a few times. In the 4 Hour Body, he talks about kind of having a cheat day. What I found over many cheat days as a younger person was that the cravings and the inflammation that those would induce, that they lasted for several days and caused way more suffering than it was worth. So now the cheat day might be I eat a lot more carbs, right? But these are carbs that are not going to leave a residue of inflammation. I don't eat bad fats. I don't eat, chicken McNuggets on a cheat day. That would be ridiculous. So you still keep it clean, but you're having a lot more carbs and it's very enjoyable, delicious food. And that's an important thing for women, even more important than men. When you're not fasting, it's okay to have carbs. If you want to be in keto, do it for a week or two and then go out. Allow the parts of your body that need carbs to do it, reduce the biological stress, and then go back in. It's the cycles instead of just like, I'm going to push and never stop pushing. So that's the biggest finding in the chapter for women.